Imagine standing at the edge of a helicopter door, staring down at hell itself. Below, a massive crater spews smoke and ash into the sky. Heat burns your lungs even from thousands of feet up. Molten lava glows like an angry red eye staring back at you. Make one wrong move, one miscalculation, and you'll plummet into that inferno with no way out. Most people would slam that helicopter door shut and go home. Sebastian Alvarez, he jumped. What happened next became the most insane stunt in wingsuit history. A death-defying dive that no one had ever attempted before, and that most experts said was absolutely impossible. To understand why anyone would do something this crazy, you need to know who Sebastian Alvarez really is. They call him El Ardilla, the Squirrel. This man has spent his entire life chasing one singular obsession: flight. Growing up on the coast of Chile, young Sebastian would stare at the sky for hours, watching birds soar on invisible currents of air. While other kids dreamed of normal careers, he dreamed of flying, not in planes like a bird, free, untethered, alive. So he joined the Chilean Air Force. For years, he flew fighter jets at speeds that would make your stomach turn. He learned to parachute from planes thousands of feet in the air. But even that wasn't enough. Jets had engines. Parachutes just fell. Sebastian wanted something more. He wanted to truly fly. That's when he discovered wingsuits. By his mid-20s, he left his military career behind. He abandoned everything he had worked for, because Sebastian had found his calling. He spent the next decade racking up thousands of jumps, base jumping off cliffs, diving between skyscrapers, leaping from mountaintops. He even shattered 3 world records in a single flight: speed, distance, and duration. The wingsuit community went wild. But for him, it still wasn't enough. Sebastian started obsessing over a new question. What's the most extreme place a human being could possibly fly? The answer came to him like a vision, or maybe a nightmare. Villarrica Volcano. This isn't some dormant, peaceful mountain. Villarrica ranks as one of Chile's most active volcanoes. It erupts frequently. The locals have a name for its crater, Ruka Pillán. In their language, it means house of the devil. Think about that. The people who live in its shadow literally call it the devil's house. The crater stretches over 200 meters wide, a gaping mouth in the earth spewing heat, smoke, and death. Inside, molten lava churns at temperatures hot enough to vaporize anything that falls in. The air swirls with unpredictable winds, toxic gases, and choking ash. Sebastian looked at this nightmare and thought, perfect. His plan was simple and absolutely insane. He would jump from a helicopter above the volcano, dive straight into the crater, fly down to within meters of the lava, and then pull up and fly back out. No engines, no backup plan, just fabric wings, human nerve, and the laws of physics. When Sebastian first told people about his idea, they thought he was joking. When they realized he was serious, they tried to talk him out of it. This wasn't just dangerous, it was suicidal. The heat alone could melt his equipment. The toxic gases could knock him unconscious mid-flight. The turbulent air could slam him into the crater walls at 175 miles per hour. But Sebastian had made up his mind. Most people don't see what happens behind viral videos. The countless hours of planning, the sleepless nights running calculations, the fear. Sebastian spent over a year preparing for this single jump. He moved to a camp near Villarrica and became a student of the volcano. Every single day he would watch it, study it, learn its moods. How did the smoke columns rise at different times? How strong did the winds blow at various heights? What about air pressure changes near the summit? He ran hundreds of mathematical calculations, trajectory angles, velocity curves, glide ratios, flare timing. A single miscalculation wouldn't just mean failure, it would mean death. He did test flights over and over, approaching the volcano from different angles, different heights, different speeds, but never going in, Not yet. He needed everything to be absolutely perfect. Because here's what most people don't understand about wingsuit flying. You can't just pull up whenever you want. A wingsuit isn't a parachute, it's a glider. You're always falling, always descending. The only question is, are you falling fast enough to generate lift? Sebastian's plan required split-second timing. He had to dive deep enough into the crater to make it count, but not so deep that he couldn't pull out. And the pull-out itself, what wingsuit flyers call a flare, had to happen at exactly the right moment. Pull up too early, and he'd lose too much speed and stall out, tumbling into the crater walls. Pull up too late, and he'd plunge straight into the lava. The margin for error? Practically zero. December 2021. After 365 days of planning, waiting, and obsessing, the weather window finally opened. This was it. Sebastian climbed into a helicopter with his custom wingsuit, his heart pounding so hard he could hear it over the rotor blades. As they lifted off and climbed higher above Villarrica, he watched the crater grow closer. Smoke billowed out like the breath of some ancient beast. At 3,500 meters, nearly 1,100 feet, the helicopter door opened. The heat hit him immediately. The noise, the smell of sulfur and ash. For just a moment, Sebastian later admitted, he wondered if he was making the biggest mistake of his life. But then he jumped. The first 40 seconds brought pure acceleration. Gravity pulled him down like a missile locked onto its target. The crater rushed up to meet him, that massive, smoking mouth growing larger and larger. Wind screamed past his body at over 100 miles per hour, then 150, then faster. The turbulence raged around him. Hot updrafts from the lava tried to throw him off course. Cold downdrafts tried to slam him into the walls. But Sebastian kept his body tight, his trajectory perfect, diving deeper and deeper into the devil's house. By the time he approached the floor of the crater, he was moving at nearly 180 kilometers per hour, over 175 miles per hour. At that speed, hitting anything meant instant death. He flew now about 10 meters below the crater rim, 10 meters into hell itself. This was the moment, the single most critical instant of the entire stunt. Sebastian pulled the flare. He pitched his body upward with every ounce of strength he had, converting his downward speed into lift. The wingsuit grabbed the air, and for one heart-stopping second, it looked like he might not make it, like the volcano would swallow him whole. And then he shot out. Like a bullet escaping a gun, Sebastian rocketed out of Villarrica's mouth at over 280 kilometers per hour, blasting back into the open sky. He had done it. He had flown into an active volcano and lived to tell the tale. When he finally deployed his parachute and drifted down to the ash-covered ground, his entire body shook with adrenaline. He later said this was the scariest, most surreal moment of his entire life. Before the jump, he had whispered permission to the volcano. After landing, he whispered thank you. If that gave you chills, hit subscribe. It's safer than standing on a crater rim. News of Sebastian's stunt exploded around the world.
When the green light was finally given, the man known as Ardilla had to ensure that its flight direction and speed was just right as he jumped from the helicopter.
CNN, Euronews, and extreme sports outlets everywhere ran the footage. People couldn't believe what they saw. One man, one wingsuit, one active volcano. Even Red Bull, his sponsor, who had watched him perform countless insane stunts, said this was the one that topped them all. Sebastian Alvarez had become the first person in human history to fly into and out of a live volcano. He had rewritten the limits of what humans could achieve. Today, that jump stands as a monument to human ambition, a reminder that we only accept the limits we choose, that with enough preparation, enough courage, and enough obsession, we can make even the impossible possible. Sebastian Alvarez looked at the devil's house and didn't blink. He flew straight in. If this story amazed you, don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stunts and daring adventures. Leave a comment. Would you ever take a leap like that? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.